AI really takes digital transformation to the next level of possibilities. Looking at AI in an industrial environment, it can do so much. You can have that in your life cycle.
Welcome to a brand new episode of our podcast, Human&AI, Mind, Machines, and the Gradient Descent.
Thanks for tuning in to our geeky podcast, where we present different perspectives on the fascinating fields of AI and machine learning, corporate craziness, passion for technology, and the role of humans in it. Today, we're super excited to have an authentic and dedicated leader who strongly believes in strengthening the capabilities of individuals in order to make the organization more effective. And I'm talking about none other than Karen Florschütz, the CEO of Customer Services at Siemens. She provides innovative service solutions and products for the digital enterprise and focuses to help our customers increase the availability and productivity of their plants while reducing overall costs. That already sounds super exciting, so let's jump directly into it. Karen, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you and where do we catch you today?
Ari and Uli, I'm thrilled to be on the show together with you and absolutely happy to be here. Where do you catch me today? Actually, I am sitting in my office. Why that? Even with Corona, I know, but some things have to be done from here. Otherwise, I would be in my home office.
Yeah, it's such a snowstorm outside. So I hope you're cozy in your office. But let's start off with an easy question. We came across a quote from you, and it goes like this: "Being courageous is acting in a simple and most effective way." What do you actually mean by that? And can you maybe share a moment in your life where you really had to be courageous?
Absolutely, and thank you for that opening question. Well, that is one of my quotes that I use quite often. Why? Because I think nowadays it is important to think outside of the box. You need to sometimes be courageous to see that maybe you are not the best person to fulfill that job, to do that, and then step back, let somebody else go in the lead. And this is not in our human nature often. And if you look at soccer, you often see that, people want to do that goal. But most of the times, somebody else is even better positioned. And they have the capabilities to do that even better. And so I think that is not a mistake, not a fault to sometimes be courageous and step back. But you have to do that, and you have to act in a very simple way, letting somebody else go first, or in the most effective way. What's best for the company? How can you reach that goal together? And speaking about that, a courageous decision, maybe something out of my past. I did a decision to put an organization in different buckets, so to say. So I divided a team because I felt that was the right thing at the time. Getting new information and also talking to the people. Half a year later, they told me it's not working. The process is broken. So I stood in front of everyone saying it was my decision and I take it back because we have not reached the target together. And I even admitted it was my mistake. It was, I stood up and said, let's change it back. And since then, it is working perfectly. So I think sometimes we have to do that. And this is why I put that quote in.
Yeah, I love the boldness and the open mind in that and the reflection. I love it. So one of you goes, you're in the service solution space, right? And products, digital enterprise, right? How awesome is that? So can you share with the audience a bit of, what is the digital enterprise thing all about? And can you share a bit of the mission, the vision, the aspirations you may have?
Absolutely. Well, in the industrial world, they are currently facing challenges. Fast-changing challenges. Why? Because we all know COVID was there and digitalization really took off. But digitalization alone is not really the game changer. Together with automation, it is. And that is where we try to navigate through these challenges to help our customers to get through these. Because most of our customers want to put the digital world and the real world together. What do I mean with that? For example, before you put a machine into a factory, you might want to really display the whole process and which part this machine is. And if you can do that by using a digital twin, doing that on your computer up front, the simulation, you then do not have to pour concrete maybe in the wrong place. So you can actually simulate all that already. So the digital enterprise for me is really the vision of doing everything you want to do later on, already simulate it, do it in the virtual world before you actually do it in the real world. And by the way, our customers are also, because now with getting data out of the machines, they have so many opportunities and options. We also need to think about our resources going forward. And I mean resources in the sense of human beings, but also resources like material. And all of us are interested that our world will still exist in a couple of years. So sustainability is one of the parts that our customers are looking into and that they are driven by. So you need to have a way how you can make that virtual into the real world, but with less resources, maybe less plastic, things like that. And also what is really important to me is don't do it in a closed way. All our systems need to be open. We need to think about an ecosystem, using one another's strengths. You asked about my quote before, using other people's strengths to get the best out of that. And that for me is the industrial Internet of Things that all is combined. And as I said, sustainable future going forward for our customers is in there.
I love it. It's full blown, right? And I guess that's also the full blown, the key strengths of an industrial player, right? Such as, the Siemens family somehow, right? It's pushing, you want to combine the physical and digital world. We do that on infrastructure level. We do that on industry, shop floor level. We do it on mobility level, together with the partner. But I mean, that's also a bit of, in terms of tacky IT, like, technology meets OT, operational technology. And in fact, it sounds like two different paradigms. In fact, it's also a bit of different mindsets, maybe also different language, right? That we have when we talk to customer, or when we talk maybe also to geeks and nerds, right? On both sides of the ocean, right? What's your view on the paradigm? How do we bring those communities better together?
I love your picture about these two people or two parts on the different side of the oceans. Absolutely. I think somebody who grew up on the shop floor has a different vocabulary, addressing the same topics as somebody coming from the IT world. But these two worlds now meet. And of course, there are field devices, there are control units that operate on the shop floor, but they are now producing data. And now you want to do something with that data. So I don't think it is a paradigm really, but it's more an evolution, because out of the shop floor, you suddenly then get data and you can do something with that. You can look at the new technologies. You do an integration of that data, and somebody can help the guy on the shop floor to optimize his machine or to do predictive maintenance, saying what this machine maybe needs service in 3 days. Do you want to have an unplanned shutdown or a planned one? Where actually you can say, hey, we need to get people in over the weekend. So I believe this, moving the different protocols now into a way that the IT and the OT can talk to one another is really a step forward. So I think there is a dictionary that was found for both parts of the different side of the ocean now to come together.
That's true, right? Maybe we are the ferry here, the ship moving on both sides. But we're not only, super passionate about, IT and OT and data integration, but also about, AI and machine learning, obviously, as we are a geeky podcast here. How do you see the role of AI currently in your organization? Can you share a couple of, I guess, it's hard to pick for you, but, a couple of interesting use cases you maybe are excited about?
Absolutely. And Oli, I started already with saying predictive maintenance. I think AI really takes digital transformation to the next level of possibilities. Looking at AI in an industrial environment, it can do so much. You can have that in your life cycle over the whole plant, really to identify maybe where's a transporter bringing their product to, or where are they within the factory? Or as I said, how can you maybe optimize the power plant or the consumption in your plant? Or having really this predictive maintenance, is the machine maybe it needs some service to be done, or is there maybe something wrong in the machine, and really doing a scheduled shutdown instead of suddenly everything stops and you do not know where it is. Or also closed loop analytics, really to optimize also the flow within your factory, to optimize your outcome, to see which parts do I need to tweak. Or I love the example always when you train a machine learning part, you normally do either it's cats or dogs, but what if a mouse comes? So training that model the whole time that, you have the 5 pieces of salami on your pizza and not 6 or 7, because you want on each slice of the pizza 1 salami slice. And I think with AI and machine learning, we are opting that so much, and it's really taking off. So I absolutely love it.
Oh yeah, but you mentioned already, right? Shaping and moving AI and machine learning on shop floor level is a different twist than consumer tech, I guess, right? Because we have somehow different demands and the customers as well, right? Because they say like we got to Siemens and it should be hardened, it should be robust, it should be somehow industrial grade. What is for you industrial grade? And maybe associate to that, heard the term of trustworthy AI seems to play also a role here.
Absolutely. And I think every one of us can relate to Amazon. When you buy something on Amazon, you normally get people who bought this who are also interested in that and that. Well, if there is a mistake in the book, it will not threaten your life. Nevertheless, in an industrial environment, if the chemical that you want to put in, maybe a solvent, is in a different concentration, that can be life-threatening. So AI needs to be very exact. The machine learning part needs to be industrial grade, so really on top of it. Mistakes cannot be tolerated because normally they always have consequences, fatal consequences, or maybe an explosion will happen. So there you have to be really on top of it. So where in a private setting, we would say, okay, hey, maybe a small mistake did happen and the wrong book was shipped. In the case of maybe vaccination, if the wrong vaccine is shipped, that can be fatal. So that is, for me, really the difference. And there we need to be really the ones that are providing AI or industrial grade AI really to our customers. Otherwise, customers will not accept that.
True.
Yeah, it's a completely different story, right? Compared to the consumer world in the industrial world, way more critical. But Karen, I started off with a quote, and on this podcast, and maybe you've noticed, we're a lot into quotes. And there's one quote I bet everyone knows. It's as simple as short as the customer always comes first. It's a business mantra old as time. And to me, it feels like it is more relevant now than ever with increasing customer expectations. So companies nowadays have to deeply understand their customers to be able to create value and stay competitive. What is your approach to keeping the customer first?
I love that quote because the customer really always comes first. And for us in customer services, customer is the first word. So we really look at what makes our customer successful. So we want to provide what makes them successful. And the first thing that probably you would not expect is listening to our customers. We really, when we talk to them, the first thing is we shut up and we let them talk. What are their values? What do they want to do? What is hindering them maybe to even be more successful or more efficient? And really, we want to understand how we can provide the best solution or the best maybe ideas to our customers, to their needs, to solve whatever topic they might have. And we do that normally in a customer co-creation. So really sitting down with them, and we have developed something called value hacker, because it is really to hack into and see what is the value for the customer. And that drives us. So customer always comes first. Absolutely. And not making our customers happy is not an option for us.
True, right? And I think the Value Hacker Initiative is awesome, right? It's from the Nordics. I've had the honor to be there around with the folks there. So that's super nice and super nice spirit as well. But so if you look a bit back the last years, co-creation was somehow the mantra, let's say, right? It's like, hey, do it, together with the customers, together with the businesses, and build prototypes, maybe together, yeah, co-create a certain solution. And it somehow, I have the feeling, it changes a bit from, or it moves further, even more closer from, co-creation, co-prototyping to actually co-exploration. So co-innovating, together, finding innovation parts, not only building things together, but actually, building new things together and also innovating new things together. And that means, we're moving somehow from a co-creation standpoint to a co-exploration point, right? How do you see that trend?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And since you spoke about the Nordics, we have a great example where we really did a co-creation with the customer. And that was Zero Aqua. It's a Finnish fish feed producer. And they actually, started this digital transformation journey with us. And basically they came and they had some topics where they wanted to improve the quality. They wanted to increase the quality control, but through really not people being there, but through machines. And they really wanted us to look at their whole value chain. And it was for us really great because we could start with our CIO approach, which is consult, implement, and optimize. So we started out with a consulting. As I said, listen to what the customer wants. And they basically explain to us what are their challenges, what do they want to achieve. And by digging maybe sometimes even behind what was their perception, I want to see that on the spreadsheet on a dashboard. I want to have this and that. But asking some questions, we found out what they really want to have and came up with a roadmap with them. And then the next part was based on that digitalization roadmap. What do we need to do? What do we need to change maybe in their setup? What do we need to connect maybe to get data out of the machines? Data management solutions, and building on the existing automation systems that they had, and even connecting some competitor products. And in the implementation phase, we did that with our service experts and putting MindSphere, IoT platform, and the whole 9 yards in there, but on their existing system. So they didn't have to throw everything out. We just used what they had and build on top of that. And we are now in the phase on a really constant basis with them, to optimize, to see where can we maybe tweak some of the process to get more productive or have more efficiency. And they're very much, since they're working with fish, so with products, with food and beverage, so they really want to have a high quality. So we are working constantly now with them on how can we maybe change some of the parameters to have an even better quality on that. And so far, what I heard from the Nordics, Radio Aqua is a happy customer, and they love us to continuously come back with them. And it's not a customer relationship anymore. It's more a customer supplier co-creation. Really, we create with them, and we find out with them and through them what else we can change and do. And sometimes they have some ideas, and sometimes we come up with things. So it's a good way to do that. And the Finnish guys are very open to that kind of a co-creation.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, building partnerships instead of, customer relationship, or maybe, that's the new name for that. Love it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like working together on the same level and towards a collective goal. What we often encounter also in the field of AI is that we explore a lot. We put a lot of time into the exploration. We build early prototypes, proof of concepts. But in the end, it's often very difficult to scale those proofs effectively. So from your perspective, what are the biggest obstacles that are holding AI back from really becoming productive? Can you share some best practices there?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I agree with you. It's, I think we haven't used all the AI to the full potential yet, but also it needs time. Companies are incorporating AI technologies already in their business operation, of course, with the aim to save money, to boost efficiency, to generate some insights that they can actually generate some data and get something new out of that. But that, of course, you need the right experts to also read something out of that, to detect maybe whether this product still needs to have some defect inspection or not. So scaling that currently for a lot of the customers is not really there yet, but we are on a very good path on using that. So if you look at what I mentioned before, unplanned downtime is really, from a historic point of view, terrible for a customer, because normally they have, when the factory is at a standstill, then they're losing money. So having this AI really helping them to plan for the right moment when they need to have their shutdown is something where they can really have more efficiency. And that is something that definitely can scale over different companies. So because they all have the same topic to solve. Nevertheless, please see also that all customers have a different environment. Brownfield and brownfield is not the same. So there, of course, there are parts that you can actually already scale, but probably you cannot take it copy paste from one company to the next or one plant to the next. So you always have to do a little bit of tweaking. So the sense of copy paste is not really given yet. But since everyone is working on that data, and also another part comes in, which is cybersecurity. So industrial security services needs to be also there, and combining that with the AI is also something that everyone wants to have, but you cannot have, oh, this is the box, just install it and everything will work. hackers are getting smarter, and they try to have new ways to get in there. And of course, the AI learns as you go along. So I believe it is something that has to be adjusted, but we will probably, going forward, will have some parts that actually you can do copy paste with some integration going forward.
Yeah, wise words actually, right? But I think that's an enormous opportunity for the Siemens or for the industrial player overall, right? Making this ML ops aspect, making and shaping this journey for the customers, reliable models, trustworthy models, explainable models, continuously learning models. That's, I think, a great stack, which is demanded from large player like us maybe, and demand maybe also of value to the clients themselves. But speaking of partners and clients, right? I think, there's a term, I think, from Merantix, Rasmus, there is ecosystem is the new strategy. And in terms of, speed and scale demands a collaboration with a lot of partners, right? And especially, I guess, in the digital and AI space, right? This goes cross boundaries, cross regions, cross corporates, right? And it plays more and more role. Can you elaborate? What's your strategy, mission, or the role of the ecosystem, or let's say the partnerships in the digital enterprise space, on AI space, from your side?
Well, ecosystem for us is an enormous part. You need, as I mentioned before, sometimes you are the one that can lead the pack, but sometimes there's somebody else who can do it better than you. And why not include that company, that startup, that other partner? Absolutely. And also, speaking about the artificial intelligence of things, really, is a huge potential. And it has benefits, coming from the edge to the cloud computing, applications for all kind of manufacturers. And they're having partners helping you to shape that, ecosystem. I think that is definitely where we do a lot for our customers, because the customer then in the industrial ecosystem can make faster decisions, more reliable decisions. Also, you can reduce the infrastructure costs. If, for example, you do something, if you think about a smart factory, where people can actually go in and say, I want to produce this part, and I want to rent your facility. Or improve, a security architecture. If you have an ecosystem and several partners are working on the same part, probably, swarm intelligence, a better architecture for security is coming out of that. So I believe there is a lot you can gain actually by playing in an ecosystem, and especially for manufacturing, coming from the classical part of manufacturing to a smarter new generation of manufacturing. But also, as I said, all the AI adoptions you will have in the Internet of Things. Is great. So I'm a fan of ecosystems, and I always look out for partners, even partners that maybe on first glance you would say, why would Siemens Services even partner with somebody like that? So, but I see a value in different kinds of ecosystem partners to bring that to the party.
Yeah, that's actually true. And it's somehow a difference, right? If you go to, I don't know, in the consumer space and social network space, right? This data is being generated there and it plays within one platform. Let's assume it right there. If we talk into somehow clients' values and applications, we enter the shop floor, and in the shop floor, then the client says, and here is Bosch, and here's ABB, and here is Schneider, and here is, right? So, and that means, we are anyway, if you provide any value-added solution to a customer, you need to integrate with a lot of partners anyway. so
Absolutely.
But nevertheless, I had the feeling, if I talk to colleagues also, and say like, well, oh man, we're doing that with the hyperscaler here and we're doing that with the hyperscaler there. What is our competitive edge here? What would you react to that? It seems like, if we do all things together, what is then our USP? Do we have a USP?
Absolutely. We do have that.
Right.
Absolutely.
I
Hey, we
guess so, right?
wouldn't be there. And no, for me, honestly, we have everything in our basket, really, to offer end-to-end services. And customers, like nowadays, are looking less at, I want to have this product from Bosch, and I want to have this from Siemens, and this maybe from Rockwell. They look at their whole value chain and they said, I need a solution. I need something that works and that gets me in a better position. So looking at that really from a holistic digitalization approach, we have all parts we can provide to the customer. And as I mentioned before, the CIO approach, with that, we can actually drive out from the customer what do they want to achieve and how we can put our services to work with them. And what I see, our USP, I think since we are already coming from a break-fix mentality, we are already on the shop floor of our customers. They see us as the trusted partner. And we also bring now this digitalization part with them. So we can talk products, we can talk process, and we can talk enterprise with them. And I see that is the value because the customer knows we have the hardware, the software, the services, and the solution. It doesn't all have to be our old products, but we actually can combine their brownfield and scaling it up the way that our customer is part of that new digitalization world and can even do their own steps in that. And our claim really is service is more than you think, because most people, when they think of service, and you asked about the USP, they think of these guys in the blue overalls doing break fix. Something is broken, maybe the coffee maker, and hey, please correct it. Nowadays, people, yes, there are still people doing that, but they also have a growth mindset, thinking about what else can we do to help the customer to achieve their goals, to be more efficient, to be knowing what's going on in their plant and helping them. So I think we as Siemens have a huge USP, and us as service, hey, we end to end, of course. And service is more than you think.
There you go.
I'm sold. I'm sold.
Good, great.
Very nicely put. And what you also just mentioned was that our customers really see us as a trusted partner. And I feel like customers are getting increasingly more sensitive and aware about their data. And a lot of regulations also only underline that, like the EU's GDPR. And so they push for higher data privacy standards. And how do you deal with this issue of data privacy in the area of customer services? Is it somehow a limiting factor that blocks data-driven insights, or can you leverage it to position us as a trusted player in the market?
Avery, that's a very good question. And honestly, there's often the fear from customers. If I connect now my facility to a cloud or to the internet, whatever that is, hackers can get in and they can steal my secret recipe. And I think for that, we have industrial security services exactly to take that pressure off the customers, to offer them a solution where it's really secure, where either their data is protected in the cloud, or when they want to use edge computing, we have it really on the shop floor. So it's on premise. And customers are getting more and more used to that. And of course, they ask that nowadays everywhere. And but they also want to make sure that no one can actually see or do something with their data unless they give the permission. And I think that is absolutely correct. You do not want anyone to mess around with your data. So I think our customers are correct on that. And just to give you an example, I was talking to one customer who is a utility company in the US, and they told me before they were always, their plants were always shot. And now you probably look at me like, ooh, shot? Yes, shot with a gun. So people shot at their facility. And 3 years later, they noticed people are not shooting anymore, but they are starting hacker attacks because they want to, get down their power plants. And then he said, well, and first it was a couple a day. Then it became 80 a day. Nowadays, it's more than 8,000 attacks a day. So having security of your plant, having security of your data is something that drives our customers. And having these kind of services, we absolutely built this trusted relationship with our customers, because if they are not secure, their data is not secure, how can I fulfill my promise that customer always comes first?
The Wild Wild West have moved into the digital arena. Amazing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Karen, we now talked a lot about customers, of course, about Siemens, but now we also want to find out more about you, because you held various leadership positions in different departments for several years. And for us, and I also guess for the audience, it would be highly interesting to know from a power woman, from a very inspiring woman like you are, what really makes good leadership and what distinguishes management alone from authentic and inspiring leadership.
First of all, I think a good leader needs to enjoy working with people. If you don't like people, from my point of view, you're not a good leader. You need to be authentic. I believe you need to be approachable, and you need to shape a vision. You need to be able to come up and say, that's the North Star. And make it as vivid as possible. You don't need to know how to get to the North Star yet, but work with your people on that. I believe you need to have a growth mindset, not just thinking always in one direction, but really open your mind outside of the box. And you need to empower people. As I mentioned before, sometimes maybe one of my staff is even better positioned than me or has more knowledge. So who am I then always to say I need to be the front runner? No. Empowering people, donate talent to other parts of the organization. I think that is what makes a great leadership.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let other people shine, right? Is the secret sauce somehow.
Yeah.
Right, but if you look back, right, it's somehow easy, not easy said, right? It's a continuous change, or we are in there. But if you look back in the early days, maybe student level or early professional level, is there any advice you would have heard, you would love to have heard or known before, right? In terms of that would be helpful. Maybe that can be also shared with the other folks, because sometimes if you join a large organization, you have this politics, you have this stuff going on, you have this push and pull, and sometimes it's getting complicated. So it's sometimes it's ain't easy pushing innovation in large organizations, right? Any good advices you would have heard back in the days?
Absolutely. I think one thing definitely is believe in your ideas. If you believe this is the right thing, then talk to people, build relationships, I always say, build bridges, not walls. So try to find people that also have the same thoughts and ideas. So absolutely. And for me, one thing that I heard while I was still a student, I was working for a company or I did a project with a company. And the owner of the company said to me, Karen, if you have to do a presentation in front of a large audience, just imagine them all of them in their bathing suits, because then they all look the same and you will not be afraid. So doing that just gets you a little bit of a laughter, and then you will rock the show.
There you go. That's why you're now comfortable. But I'm super well dressed. You see me in a video, right? Just kidding.
And you rocked this show for sure. It's been such a pleasure. Time was flying with you. Thanks so much for sharing all your insights and experiences with us. But before we finish this episode, we want to play Authentic Autocomplete with you. That's our final game. So I will just give you a couple of sentence starters and you will have to finish. Karen, are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Perfect. So let's start off with an easy one. Siemens is
the greatest company.
Bam.
Beautiful. Technology with purpose is,
for me, to deliver solutions that not only address the customer's challenges, but also serve for a sustainable future.
That's a nice crisp version of that. Thanks.
Customer services is,
it's going to be the place to be to work, because we look at the customers' topics going forward.
You're really good at this game. My favorite ice cream is
chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh, I love it.
Nice. The best advice I was ever given was,
if it's no fun, why do it?
Yeah.
Totally agree. And last but not least, if I could change one thing in the world immediately, it would be,
I would definitely get rid of COVID.
Oh,
yes.
That's true. Here we go. Hopefully we'll reach an end, or let's say reach a next normal soon. Karen, thanks so much for being, with us and being so open and passionate, empathic, and sharing and spending this. I know you're a busy person, busy talent here, and we highly appreciate your time here. Thanks very much.
Thank you, guys. It was a real pleasure. I enjoyed it.
And folks out there, stay tuned. There's a lot more to come. I don't know what, but we'll see it. Stay bold, committed, and open-minded. And we're here at the next Siemens AI podcast. Cheers.